friends YouTubers, this is Kurt. Welcome back to the Kurt's Place channel here on the YouTube. Well guys, it's time for another arcade game review. Now this time I found another really cool game called Agent Super Bond. Agent Super Bond was made in 1985 by Signatron USA. This is a really neat game. It's almost like a 007 inspired game where we're actually going to buildings and things and shoot bad guys, and also you try to get treasures and other things too. Really neat game too. Now the one thing that's also really cool about this game too is it does have an option where you can actually continue. You can actually buy items and things that you want at certain points in the game by adding credits and things too. Very cool little game. And then what it is each of the rooms and things you come into, you know, you're trying to, in addition to shooting bad guys, you're trying to get things such as getting files and everything out of different rooms and things, and they're all themed a little bit differently, which is pretty cool too, as you're going to see in this video here. All right, let's go and begin. And this is actually the building that you're actually in here. And what we're going to do is you're going to go and see as I go along here that you can use things such as bombs and everything to blow up the walls too. Really cool stuff too, how that works. And you see, there's different things like desks and things like that. You know, you're trying to get secret plans and everything out of it, and it gives you points. Very cool stuff. And then when you go in different rooms, you're going to see that the rooms are themed a little bit differently too. Like this one, each room has its own theme, which is another thing I really like about this game too, the way they did that. Really cool stuff. And the nice thing is, what you're going to find is you can also continue anytime you want to. When you die, you can actually continue if you want to, which is another thing I really like, the fact they give you the option for doing that. But not only can you continue, but when you continue, you don't actually lose the score you have. You actually get to keep the score you currently have, which is pretty cool. I really like that aspect of this game as well. Now what I need to do is, one of the things you use to blow holes in the walls and things is you have little bombs that you use to blow holes in the walls and things. But what I need to do is I need to get more of those bombs. So what will happen is you're going to see here, I'm going to have an option here when this game ends. I'm going to have an option to put a credit in and buy more bombs and things too. Really cool stuff, how they did that. Now here you're going to actually see the screen that comes up where I can actually buy more. So what you do is you put a coin in, and what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to continue, and it's going to give you additional bombs. Now, at certain points, you're going to have a chance to get even more stuff at certain points in the game that you're going to see here, too, as I go along here, too. That's why this game, that's one of the reasons I thought this game was pretty unique. I hadn't seen too many games that work like this one. I thought it was pretty unique. And you're going to see now, it actually tells you where you're at in the, it actually tells you where you're at in the building as well. And you can see it's a pretty neat game. It's one of those games that's a little bit different than some of the other games I had too, but I can tell you, if you were playing this in the arcade, this would munch up a bunch of quarters, because it goes pretty quick. And that's one of the things too that I noticed about this game is how fast the game actually goes. You go through a quarter pretty quick in this game too. And you see how the rooms vary, how they're each room's a little bit different than the last. Now, once you get to the final room, then you have an option for being able to find a secret way to escape the room too, which I'm going to show you here if I can get to it here. We'll see if I can make it to the end of the room here. What I found in this game is that each level seems like it has 7 different rooms on each level. Now I'm going to see if I can, and it actually tells you what room you're on the bottom of the screen. Right now I'm in room 4. It actually tells you what room you're in on the bottom of the screen too. Now here's where you can actually buy bombs. Bombs are used to blow holes in walls and things. So what you do is you can actually buy bombs. And what it'll do when you buy bombs, it actually will allow you to buy bombs and things to get into the rooms and things too. Bombs are what I use, like when I'm in levels, to blow through walls and things. That's what you use your bombs for. So the more bombs you have, the better off you are in this game too. Very, very cool stuff. It's not very hard to understand, but very, very cool. And that's one of the things I like. Now you can see I'm continuing. And you continue in the same room you basically continue in the same room that you were in, but then you can have an option to buy more bombs, and that's one of the things I love about this game. And then what it does is when you get to these secret exits where it says find new floor, you're going to see how I do that when I get to the end of this round here. You're going to see how that works. And when you use the bombs too, when you get near the enemies also, you can also energize yourself to destroy the enemies as well. Very, very unique game. Really cool. Definitely different than some of the games I've played. But you can see I continue a lot. That's the thing with this game. You're going to be doing a lot of continues and things as well. But that's one of the things that I like, the fact that that you can continue the score that you left off as you go through the different rooms. Now, if you have enough super bombs and things already, then you don't necessarily have to put another coin in to buy them. And there's a little counter on the top right that actually tells you how many bombs you actually have to get through, to use. But you can shoot the enemies, but you also can blow them up with these special bombs that you have too. Really, really cool stuff. Now right now I'm in room 5. Now I'm going to go to room 6. And that's from what I found on this. There's a total of 7 rooms. I consider them like 7 rooms per section of the game. Really, really cool stuff. And you can see as I go along that I'm getting things such as desks and things like that. And I'm getting secret plans and everything from desks and things too. Very, very cool stuff. But you can see these guys shoot you pretty quick. That's one of the reasons why you're going to go through a lot of coins when you play this game. But that's one of the reasons why it's nice having it playing this too. Because then since you don't have to put your own money in, it allows you to play as much as you want. Really, really cool stuff. Now I'm actually in room 7. Now room 7 is usually the final room in this group that you're going to see here. Now let me see if I can get through this and I'll show you what happens next. Now I'm going to get a bonus. I get a bonus here for this. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to go back to the room I was at previous, and there's a secret, there's an exit that I can use to go to the next set of rooms. Really, really cool stuff here. Now here I have a chance, when I have a chance once again to buy more bombs. Now I don't need to buy any more bombs, but if I would want to, I would add a crate and push the one-player start button, and that would give me more bombs. Really, really creative stuff. Now on the bottom of the screen, there's a little exit on the bottom of the screen. If you just go into that little exit, you can go to the next room. Now it's going to give me a bonus. And now I'm going to go to the next set of rooms. Really, really cool stuff. And you're going to notice that it moved the position in the building too. See, now I'm on room 12. That's why I'm saying there's a whole, I don't know how many rooms this game has, but there's a lot of them. So you can see it's a pretty neat game. Pretty neat stuff. Now I'm going to get a chance now to go back now and escape through the next room. Because you're going to notice that not all the rooms are connected. So I have to try to find the exit. Now that exit's going to be in the bottom of the screen. It's going to be one of those little things like I had in the previous screen, but I have to find it. Alright, now I'm going to have an exit here at the bottom of the screen. And I'm going to go ahead and try, I want to try to get all the things, I want to try to clear all the things out of the rooms first before I exit out of the room. And that's the thing, before I do the final exit, so I get maximum points. Really, really neat stuff. Now I'm going to exit out of the room in the bottom, and I get points. So you see how neat that game is? Really, really sharp. So what we'll do is I'll finish off this last credit that I have here, and then so now you get a pretty good idea of what it looks like. And you can see how all the rooms and things vary a little bit too, and they speed up too, which is also kind of cool too. And you can see how it moves through the building too, depending on what level you're on too. Really, really cool stuff. That's one of the reasons I love this. I get a chance to try games like this that I probably never played before. This one I had never played before. Alright, now let's this level. So you see how neat that is? It's really, really neat stuff. And you're going to notice how it moved through the building too, as it moves into different sections of the building based on the rooms you're in. Really, really cool stuff. I don't know how many rooms this building has, but it's probably, based on what I've seen, I wouldn't be surprised if it's over 100. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised about that, how many rooms it actually has. But the great thing is, you know, since you have unlimited continues on this, you can basically get a chance to try out all these different rooms as much as you want. And that's one of the things that's really cool about it. And it'll tell you what room you're on the bottom of the screen. Actually, it'll tell you what room you're at. Alright guys, so that was my last minute. So there's a really cool game. If you get a chance, highly recommend a try called Agent Super Bond. Really, really cool game. Let me put my initials in here. Alright guys, so there you go. So there's Agent Super Bond. Really, really neat game. Now I want to also mention too, if you want to show your support for the Kurt's Place channel, I do have an online store available now as well. If you want to check that out, just look under the video description for my online store and you can show your support for the Kurt's Place channel. I have things such as keychains, hats, shirts, and other things in the merchandise store available now. Alright guys, I want to thank you again for tuning into the Kurt's Place channel. Hope you all have a great day now. Bye-bye now. We'll see you next time. Take care now.